Rick, tell us a little bit about More Than a Rib, a woman's journey to perspective healing and empowerment. I feel like I'm more than a rib to a man as a woman, so tell me more about that.
And you are, absolutely. More Than a Rib is about, it's a movement in actuality. It's a book and it's a series of books. But More Than a Rib is about the empowerment of the family unit. We break it down one individual at a time, and it starts with women who give birth. So we're looking at it from several different perspectives, but I and my co-author, Seven the Poet, we saw this as an opportunity to give back to the community and to give back to the single and married households. As we look at it today here in 2014 and 2015, the dynamic of the single parent household grows and grows each day, with right now 15 million single parent households run by women. So our first installment was to give back to women and show that, you know, you have self-worth and to be self-empowered to do and be the best person that you are. We have 4 more books coming in the book series, and the next one is dealing with men, and it's called The Regentrification of Black. And that's about the structure in dealing with how we can help our black men be better men, to be better providers, better people, better situations in society where they will give back and help the family unit once again to be a stronger situation. Me personally, I'm trying to be the best dad and best father that I can be. Me and Seven are fathers outside the household, and the book that comes in 2016 is about co-parenting and being outside, you know, being able to be effective fathers outside the household. So we really think that this is a great movement. We think this is a great first installment, and we hope to get, you know, a lot of people involved in the movement in bettering self and bettering the family unit. I collaborated with about 10 other authors that helped. In order for this situation, when we first stepped out and introduced it, both myself and Seven in public events were getting hit with, well, you're a man, you can't tell women how to do this, that, and the other. And to go ahead and maneuver in this situation, my thought process was to bring on several talented authors, and also in the city of Houston, that have not been published, and help them to get their publishing rights through my movement and our book. So we have several other female authors part of this. The bones of the project is me and Seven's work and work ethic in regards to what we want to deliver in regards to the empowerment of the family unit in this first installment. And then we have women that add on personal, true stories to what and what not to do in regards to just everyday self, life, obstacles, trials and tribulations, and how they overcome them or not. And the book is an example of what and what not to do. So it's really a good read, and it definitely gives examples of being a better person as well, whether you're male or female. Being a better person, whether man or woman, somebody can take something away from this project.
So I know you have the book, and I think you do some other things in the community related to the movement of More Than It's a Rib. Can you just tell us briefly what that is?
We give 3 or 4 events per year in regards to mental and physical wellness, where we're always trying to do something that gives back to the community and providing free service and panels for the communities that we serve. We just came out of the Black Expo, and we just did a great relationship forum, and we just did a poetry slam. What we have coming up now is our event in December for the Diamonds and Pearls event, where we give back to, we honor, not give back, well, we honor and give back to 10 women in the city of Houston that have given back to the community and are doing outstanding things to represent in regards to being examples for young girls to follow. So that event is December 5th. And we have a great lineup, and we're doing things to make sure that we're relevant in the community and make sure that we are empowering the community at the same time.
Absolutely, and I can attest to being a part of your program last December and receiving an honor. So thank you I'm continue to say thank you even from last year for that honor, and you are doing wonderful things in the community. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to find out some more from these authors with an abundance of questions. I have a whole bunch of questions, and I'm going to try to get them all in. You're going to try to get all your questions in too, right?
Yes, ma'am. I have questions too.
So we got to pay some bills, and we're going to take a little break so you can hear from our sponsors.
To make everybody see, in order to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the powers that be.
So Rick, did you?
Well, self-help, community service, seems like a lot of this is drawn out of family. This is your childhood, this is your circle of men, fellowship, church that inspired some of this for you?
Well, I don't like to speak about it, but I speak about it from time to time, depending on the situation. I grew up in an abused home where my mother was abused. I grew up in a drug-filled home where my mother and father were both on drugs and in the era of crack. I've had a situation where in life, just dealing with those situations and trying to be a transitional boy to a man, I've had to deal with, this, that, and the other that I wasn't coped or able to deal with because of not having those family figures there that were necessary. So the empowerment of the family unit runs deep in me, and I always said I would give my kids more than I ever had. And as I grow to look at these YouTube fights and these disturbing things that are on our social media, I came up with a situation that I need to give back in some form or fashion. And this self-help inspirational situation is about knowing your personal value. Like some of the other authors, they have characters, but you are the character in this. You have to know what your personal value is and what your worth is. And if you don't, you will continue to treat yourself bad, where if you know what your value is, you will put yourself in situations that benefit you versus delete and decrease from you. So More Than a Rib all starts out with you and 9 pillars. The first 3 or 4 9 pillars is self-assessment, self-accountability, forgiving. One thing that we definitely as a Afro-American culture have an issue dealing with is forgiving. And it starts with forgiving yourself first, and then forgiving whoever has wronged you. And then after that, it's about your self-renewal and how you can grow from the process of forgiving. So, More Than a Rib is definitely a journey. And once again, we deal with each individual at a time. So the first installment is about women. The second installment is about men. The third installment is about men, women, and children. And then we get into some communication issues between men and women and just men and their emotions. So, the movement, the journey, the book series is something very powerful to help empower, the structure of the family unit.
We're not judge and jury here today by any means, but just straight from the headlines. If you had an opportunity to meet someone like a Ray Rice, and you had an opportunity to give him your book, what would you suggest that he read in particular? Like go straight to page, whatever.
If it was the men's book, which I have structured in my mind, it would just be about, thinking to be proactive for your success. We often get caught up in temperament and the moment. And that's our downfall as Afro-Americans. We get caught up in temperament of the moment, behind closed doors, in public and everywhere else. And we have to start reconditioning ourselves to be patient with ourselves and with others. And as we go through the journey of trying to be patient with ourselves and with others, we can become a more effective human being in regards to just being, forgiving, going back to that forgiving, and just being able to let certain things go. Something that would take you to 1 to 10, you know, you can reach back, dial back, and relax, relate, release, and give it another chance before you do something that will put yourself in jeopardy or put someone else in jeopardy. So it's absolutely, this is what I would tell Ray Rice if I had a chance to give him the book and say, little brother, this is what's going on. This is what you need to think about in regards to where you at now, and then given a position of, you know, success to where you were, how not to lose it again. And it really is gentrification of black. We didn't want to cut out anybody, but, you know, we looked at, and we're looking at servicing our community again. So we're looking at, you know, reconditioning the mindsets of children, youth, and black men, the way they see themselves, and once again getting back into that value situation. It'll be more of a copy of the first installment, but, you know, we're going to cut down the pages, and we're going to make it, you know, interesting for a man or for somebody who's interested in changing, developing, and enhancing what they think they have to the next level. So it's about becoming a better man.
Before Larry and I say goodbye to our audience at home, we want to make sure that we introduce a very special lady who put all this together, who has created this show for your viewing pleasure. Miss Tanya Palmer, welcome. Give our audience at home some details. And until next time, look for us with Excerpt Live Edition 2.
Good night.
Be safe. God bless.